All right, today we're going to dig into a problem that's super common for homeowners, but it's one you almost never see coming. We're talking about tree roots and how they have this crazy knack for getting into places where they really shouldn't be. So what do you think is the biggest threat lurking right under your lawn? No, it's probably not what you're thinking. While you're out there, enjoying your yard, there could be this silent battle happening just a few feet below you. And it's a battle that's threatening the very plumbing that keeps your whole house running. Yeah, we're talking about tree roots. We'll call them the silent invaders. Look, they're not evil, they're just doing what trees do. But their natural instincts, oh man, they can lead to some seriously destructive and expensive consequences for your home's drainage system. And I'm not just being dramatic here. As one of our sources, Dr. Drain, puts it, tree roots are a quiet but devastating enemy. And that really hits the nail on the head. This is the kind of problem that starts super small, totally out of sight, but it can blow up into a full-blown plumbing emergency before you even know what's happening. So, how in the world does this invasion even happen? Well, it's basically a four-step process. First up, step one, seeking moisture. Tree roots are always on the hunt for water and nutrients. And guess what? Your sewer lines are like an all-you-can-eat buffet for them. Step two, finding a way in. And it doesn't take much, Just a tiny little crack or a slightly loose pipe joint is basically a wide-open door. Then comes step three, taking over. Once a root gets inside that pipe, it just grows and grows, expanding into this thick, dense mass. It's like a web. And finally, you get to step four, the aftermath. Your water flow slows down to a trickle, and all that pressure on the pipe, it dramatically increases the risk of it breaking completely. A total disaster. But here's the good news. These silent invaders, they actually leave clues behind. The whole trick is just knowing what to look for, and believe it or not, what to listen for. If you can spot these early warnings, you can stop a disaster before it ever really starts. And these telltale signs are often way simpler than you'd think. Like, are your drains running slower than usual? That's a big one. Or do you hear these weird gurgling noises coming from your toilet or drains? What about an unpleasant sewer smell, either inside or outside? And here's a really specific clue. If your toilets start backing up right after a heavy rain, that is a huge red flag. Any of these could be your plumbing system literally crying out for help. Okay, so if you spot any of those signs, what's the next move? It's time to call in the pros. And trust me, they have a very clear playbook for figuring out exactly what's wrong and getting it fixed. One of the coolest tools they have in their arsenal is something called hydrojetting. The best way to think about it is like pressure washing, but for the inside of your pipes. It's this super high pressure stream of water that just scours away all the roots and gunk, leaving the pipe sparkling clean without causing any damage. The whole professional process is really just a logical three-step solution. First, they diagnose. They send a special little camera down the line to see exactly where the roots are and just how bad the blockage has gotten. Then, step two is to clear it out. That's where they'll use things like hydrojetting or other tools to get rid of the obstruction completely. And finally, step three is to solve it for good. They'll work with you to figure out a long-term solution. Maybe it's repairing the pipe, maybe it's installing a root barrier, so this whole mess doesn't just happen all over again. And that brings us to maybe the most important idea of all, shifting from just reacting to clogs to actually proactively preventing them. Honestly, this is where you can save yourself a ton of time, money, and let's be real, a whole lot of stress. So here it is, your proactive prevention checklist. Number one, schedule regular plumbing inspections. Number two, if you're planting new trees, think about using root barriers to keep them away from your sewer lines. Next, if you see any water leaks, anywhere, address them right away because that moisture is what attracts the roots in the first place. And finally, and this is a big one, make sure you're working with a licensed, experienced plumber who really knows their stuff when it comes to root intrusion. So when we say regular inspections, how often are we talking about? Well, the general recommendation is every 1 to 3 years. And think about that for a second. This simple checkup could be the difference between a minor cleaning job and a massive, yard-destroying excavation project that costs a fortune. All right, let's put this all together. Let's create a clear action plan so you can secure your home's drainage system from this underground threat. If you even suspect you have a root problem, do not wait. Step 1, schedule that diagnostic visit with a professional. Don't let it get worse. Step 2, when they're done, ask them to show you the camera footage. You want to see it with your own eyes and get a clear explanation of what's going on. And step 3, have a serious chat with them about a long-term strategy that actually fits your budget and your property.
When it's all said and done, it really just boils down to this one powerful idea. A little bit of proactive maintenance right now can literally save you thousands of dollars in repairs down the road. And maybe just as important, it gives you that peace of mind knowing your drains are just going to keep flowing smoothly.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought to chew on. Now that you know the signs, now that you know what to look for, take a second and really think. Is your home's drainage system truly as secure as you think it is?